So now entering the construction sector from a small scale can be cumbersome for some of the young entrepreneurs, with big players dominating the market. And of course, new companies are struggling to participate in the whole value chain and end up settling for small jobs. So to get a glimpse of how young entrepreneurs are coping, we are joined by Tebo Matlho, who is the founder of Task Build South Africa. Thank you very much for coming to our program.
Thank you, Colin. How are you?
All right, man. So I see you are a very young person. You're too young to be building houses, man.
Yeah, no, usually that's the situation with the clients when they see me, when they call me and I come up and they're like, no, building is for older people, but times are changing.
Which is something that's going to make want to ask you, how did you get into this industry, and when you first entered, what did you encounter?
Okay, so in the past, my mother was renovating the house. And during that process of renovating the house, there were certain issues that I saw. And with that, I saw that the opportunity that I can fix a few issues there and there. And that's where I came up with the company, with the construction marketplace. Because at times I'd be at work, my mother would be at home, and then someone would actually have to handle the finances and do the runarounds in terms of buying cement and all that. Mm-hmm. And that's the gap that I saw.
So you got into the industry through being inspired by your mother. Yes. Then one has to be able to sustain this kind of business through the calendar jobs that will be coming in the future, so that you can be able to pay for your initial stage, get your break even, and then start making your profits then. So how long have you been in the business, and would you say your business is afloat now?
I've been in the business for 2 years now. I would say the business is afloat from a standing point that I started the business with 400 rands. And within the 2 years, we've made over 500,000 in terms of revenue. So the business is doing well.
Yeah, well, that's quite an impressive move from 400 rands. So have you employed people?
What I did is I used the gig economy guide, where I don't actually permanently employ, but I employ people based on gigs. So in terms of permanent employment, I do not have permanent employment, but I do employ people in terms of gigs. So one would come on Monday, one would come on Tuesday, so they get paid per earning. Yes.
So what kind of clients do you have? Is it private individuals, or do you get institutional or government?
For now, it's been private homeowners, mostly, and tenderpreneurs, someone who has got a contract with the government or any other institutions. So they would render services from me, where I provide the workmanship, the material, plant hire, and stuff like that.
For you as a young person, when we are in this business, many people would be saying that tenderpreneurs usually get a deal, and after that there would be inflation, prices would rocket up, and there would be also challenges of the cost of production shooting up whilst you are still having your production underway. How is this affecting your business in terms of your projections and profits?
The nice thing about my business is that we deal with especially that. Now, in any construction industry or in any construction place, whether you're building a small house or you're building a big house, there's always issues in the construction industry in terms of the amount of material you have, in terms of the workmanship that you have, in terms of the pricing that you are given. So what we do as Task Build is we actually take all that and we package it properly, so that either the client or the contractor doesn't get dropped in the process, and the job is done perfectly.
Yeah, there's a problem that many construction owners or workers say, risk in as far as your inventory. When you're working in a township, you offload your material, but you don't finish your work on that day. But the following day, you don't have a guarantee that you will get material that is picked up on the streets and all that. How do you deal with that?
Actually, that's kind of false. If you go around Soweto, Soshanguve, Mabopane, you'll find that usually the neighbors, they put their bricks outside. Most of the material is actually put outside. But in terms of security wise, one would actually be communicating with the neighbors rather, or the homeowner, find a bit of space where you could actually put whether your cement or your bricks or wherever in a very secure place. But in most cases, people just pass by.
Right. So now you're parting short regarding the announcement that was made by the Minister of Small Business Development. You heard I was talking to Tebo Matlho earlier about the funding that you guys are going to have. Well, what do you think about that, and how is it going to help your business?
I think it's a good step forward. I mean, in terms of getting funding from government, there are a lot of red tapes that are there for especially entrepreneurs who some who don't have leverage as to what the government can take if they don't push forward. But there are a lot of red tapes. But I'm confident that in the future, as we go ahead, things will work better for us as entrepreneurs.
So should we take it that you are a product of Kasi Entrepreneurs? You were developed from Township Business Development?
Yes.
All right.
I was based in Soshanguve. It's a township, one of the biggest townships in Pretoria. That's where I started. I'm still there even now, though I do work in Joburg and Mpumalanga there and there, but I'm still there even now.
All right. All the best, young man.
Thank you.
Okay. That's Tebo Matlho, founder of Task BuildSA, who is into the construction business as we cover Entrepreneur Month right here on SA Today. Let's take a break.